Whoo! Hope y'all are having a good day today. Oh, I'm having a pretty good day overall. Recovering from a hangover still, just a little bit. Drinking too much over the weekend. Not drinking anymore. And, hold on, I'm gonna get myself situated. I spent part of today baking bread. So I baked a loaf of ciabatta. Turned out to be pretty good. I don't know why I say it with hesitance. It was amazing, actually. It's one of the best things I've ever baked. Although, I do have to say, poissons were pretty yummy. Sorry, I'm just like, I want to make sure the line art on this one's appropriately erased before I get started. There's a couple other things I need to take care of because I acted in haste before I started streaming, like you do. And that's good. All right. So, we're going to paint. Presumably. What do I want to do here? Yeah, let me show y'all. So this partner right here. This is the second sketch I did. The original one I did was this one. And I think I talked about this the other day, but I can talk about it again. Why not? My issue with this one, I didn't like how the pose went. I don't like, this arm is much shorter than this arm, as you can see. So I just redid the sketch. I think this is better overall. The pose is better. Just like a little bit more life to it. And I think it just makes more sense. It's not as crunched. It's not as like awkward looking. And so, yeah. There you go. We're going to get started on painting here and get out the tape. So I baked a loaf of, oh my gosh. Hold on. That's going to drive me nuts. I baked a loaf of ciabatta bread today. Turned out really good. It's really delicious. Usually baking bread is cheap, but it depends on the amount, like the cost of the flour. So like the flour I used for that one, I don't know why I bought it. It was Super Primo flour from the bougie grocery store. I wouldn't say it's not worth it, because I'm sure that that's part of the reason why the quality of the bread came out so well, but when I was done, I was like, yeah, you know, I could do a cheaper loaf than this, though, and I bet it would still taste, if not quite as good, it still tastes pretty good. I don't know if I'd say it tastes just as good, but it would taste pretty good. It took about 3 hours overall to make, but like the majority of that 3 hours was just doing other things, right? It was just like working while it was sitting, you know, underneath the towel. I did have to do a little bit of like flipping the dough. There's a good deal of that for that recipe, but it wasn't that involved, not really. I didn't find myself like exhausted by it, the process at all. And it was, you know, it was so easy. I was just like, well, I could do this again next week. Because I was pretty happy with how it turned out. I'll say that. I was very happy with how it turned out. And it was just like a recipe I found on YouTube. You know, you could just Google search easy ciabatta loaf recipe. I think the title for it is like 5-ingredient ciabatta loaf or something like that. I mean, most ciabatta is like 5 ingredients. It's not like that recipe is particularly simple in comparison to other ciabatta. I mean, most bread recipes are really simple. There's not really that much going on with bread. It all is kind of comes down to like the quality of the ingredients you're using and then the method by which you bake. At least that's what I'm learning so far. And I mean, surprisingly, the techniques do get pretty complicated as you get it, as you get in there. Like world-class bakers have some stuff that they do that I'm like, I don't know if I want to put that effort into it. But that's at the level of like, you're starting your recipe 24 hours before you bake kind of a thing. Like you're getting all these special things together in preparation, and you're doing special techniques with yeast. We're setting up like special pools of yeast. And I could go on and on. But I don't know if I have it in me to be a professional baker, but I am certainly happy to be an amateur baker. Because it's pretty fun. And it's very satisfying. It's very satisfying to pull out a fresh baked loaf of bread. And the smell of it fills your apartment. And you go, ooh, that worked out better than I thought it would. And you gotta like just let it sit on the counter and you just wait and wait and wait, and it starts to drive you nuts because you're like, it smells so good and I want to like eat some of that bread. Like I want to eat it right now. Like I don't want to wait any longer. And you try to like cut it and it's like too hot and you're like, okay, I gotta wait. And then you finally get that moment. You get that chance. And the bread's ready. And you cut it open and the steam is rising out of the loaf and you go, ooh. And you eat the whole loaf. Varb says, yeah, most recipes tell me to take butter out of fridge earlier so that it's soft. I forget always. Yeah, at that, and I get why there are a lot of people who do not even like. I'm not this kind of person, but like I know a lot of people who just leave butter out of the fridge. Like I don't know enough about butter, but there have been people in my life who they just don't put butter in the fridge. And I find this kind of mysterious because I'm just like, can it like go bad? Doesn't it need to be in the fridge? It seems like a bad idea. But there are people who do it. I've had roommates who do it. I've seen family members do it. And I'm just like, what? Is there something that I don't understand about butter? Or are you just like, are these people insane? I personally like to keep my butter in the fridge. That's how I do. It just seems like a good idea. Alright, so this is... I'm hoping this passage, working on his legs, doesn't turn into more of a fiasco than I'm afraid it's going to be. No, it's going to be fine. But anyway... Varb says, we buy 30 bricks of butter at once when it's discounted. No way we'd keep it outside our fridge, except for the one brick we use for bread at the moment. Wow, that is buying wholesale. That's awesome, though. Y'all are a high volume butter group of people, it sounds like. I know a lot of people in Louisiana who like their butter. I do not keep a lot of butter about me. Maybe it's because I'm single and like usually the only time I use butter, I don't have too many recipes that I use butter for. Why is my phone is like freaking out and it keeps like reconfiguring the focus for some reason. That's annoying. Anyway, people like their butter in the South. I'm just like I said, I'll eat butter on a piece of bread if a recipe calls for it. Like absolutely has to have it. So like if I was making a croissant, yeah, I'm using butter. Jess says I never remembered to make the butter room temp either. Yeah, or like I know there are like cake and cookie recipes that usually call for butter, right? And you have to incorporate. Usually, what I end up doing is like I'll stick the butter in the microwave to just soften it. I know that's not like it's not a world class way of doing it. I recognize this. I'm not a world class chef though. I'm just an impatient American who wants his sugar cookies now or whatever his cake. He wants his cake right now and he wants to eat it too. Jess says I used to make wedding cakes. Wow, that's awesome. How was that? How was that process, Jess? Was it a stressful process or was it fun or was it like one of those things where it's just like, nah, that's cake. Oh, and it just says, and I put the butter in the microwave all the time. Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Microwave butter. I know that I have. I'm trying to remember what recipes recently have I actually used butter for. I really don't use that much butter. I'm more of an olive oil person, but you would not want to use olive oil for like cake. You wouldn't want to use it for like, ooh, I feel like that would be nasty. I mean, I guess there probably are cakes in the world that like call for olive oil, but I imagine it's not that many. Jess, in reference to making wedding cake, says it was a stressful process. I stopped doing it. Not worth it. Good to know. So y'all heard it here. Wedding cakes not worth it. Were they big wedding cakes? Like, was it like? I mean, I assume they would be, right? Like the triple decker kind of situation. Jess says, and it was a hard side hustle to manage after working all day. Verb says, we don't have a microwave and putting butter in the oven feels like an overkill. Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't know if that would be a good idea, putting it in the oven. But I don't know. I guess you could do it. It's not like the wildest thing in the world to do. You just put it on like lowest temperature possible and like let it do its thing. Put in a little oven safe dish. But I mean, it'll be all melted, right? I guess it depends on whether or not you need it melted or not, right? I guess like some recipes want it to just be soft, and others are like, well, we want that butter liquid. So Jess, you were constructing the cake, I'm assuming, decorating the cake. Like, were you doing it from like start to finish the whole thing? Because that does sound really stressful because it's like that's a huge time crunch, I imagine, and like also you're dealing with somebody, some bridezilla who's like on their wedding day and like, I want to have my perfect cake and I want it now. Um, Jess says traditional carrot cake recipes have tons of oil sometimes. Oh, interesting. It's a carrot cake. That makes sense. I don't know why that makes sense, but it does make sense. Jess says, I did 100% of the cake, including delivery. Oh my god. That does sound stressful. It must have been a nightmare. Not Save says, carrot cakes are so yummy. They are. I enjoy a good carrot cake. I had some carrot cake this last Easter. It was a store-bought carrot cake, but I wasn't going to complain. Like, you know, I was at family. I was at a cousin's house, and she was just, you know, that was their dessert. They store-bought some stuff. I was like, ooh, carrot cake. The other thing, too, though, is like a lot of times stores like to sort of over-sweeten their desserts. Like, I like desserts to be sweet, but like a lot of the mass-produced stuff, they're just like, they always turn the sugar up to 11. And it's like, you know, it actually doesn't help it to be turned up to 11. Jess says, I like anything with cream cheese frosting on top. Hell yeah. That's what's up. Not Save says, true. That is what is up. I'm always here for it. I say I'm always here for it. I mean, I eat sweets like every 2 weeks or something. I do have to say, like, after my little, I don't know, some of y'all remember me talking about this, but I went on like the sugar fast journey for like a half a year where I did not eat any sugar. I mean, I ate fruit, but I didn't really eat anything else. And like, after that half a year, Christmas came up and I ate dessert for the first time in like half a year. And it was like, it was a spiritual experience. It was so, it was so sweet. Like my taste buds were sort of like, what is this? What have you done? So it's almost, sugar fasting kind of sucks in that your body's gonna hate you for a hot minute, and then you're gonna have like cravings and stuff. But then like, kind of coming back to sugar later on and like having it for the first time in forever, it's a pretty nice experience. I'm not gonna lie. It helps you like appreciate sugar in a different way, like in a way you didn't think you could appreciate it, I guess. But do people in the chat have a favorite kind of frosting? So for you, Jess, like, is cream cheese your favorite, or is there a? Because some people really like cream cheese, some people hate it. Some people are more of like a buttercream, like, or like some people like that more soft kind of delicate frosting. You know what I'm talking about? Verb says, ha, too sweet. In Poland, we have a dessert that's literally raw yolk and a ton of sugar mixed. Oh, that's interesting. What is that? What is that called, Verb? I mean, it's not like a meringue, I'm assuming. Or maybe it is. Because it's very similar. It sounds very similar to meringue. But a meringue is kind of its own process. I guess you could call meringue a kind of frosting. Not Save says, long hath we forgotten the succor of succulent sweets, sending us to a salivating sensation. Taste buds after a half year of no sugar meeting cake. Okay, so in reference to that recipe Varb was talking about, the Polish recipe, it's called kogel mogul. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. I'll have to look that up later. Might try and make some. Alright. What am I gonna... I need to do something here. Painting his spurs. Not Save says, I think my favorite frosting is strawberry. My favorite dessert is old-fashioned southern banana pudding, though. Yeah? That's a good one. Banana like straight up like banana pudding, all like to the T, where it's just like vanilla wafers, like the most decadent sort of like whipped cream. You get little chunks of bananas. That is pretty good. You're making me hungry just talking about it right now. Not Save says, those wafers. Yeah, it's pretty good. I know I've had banana pudding recently, but I don't remember where. And it was like, it was a treat. I think it's easy to become. Oh, and it is summertime too, so we're entering banana pudding season. It's coming back. Although technically any season is banana pudding season. Yeah, I do enjoy a good banana pudding. See, like, I really liked whipped cream actually. Like, I mean, it's not good I get it, like, as a frosting, it's actually not that great because you want something that'll stiffen up, right? If you're going to put it on a cake, like, you want something that is going to, like, retain its shape. Especially if you're in Jess's situation and you have to deal with a bridezilla and you're going to, like, you need something that has some staying power, right? So you can't really use, whipped cream in that fashion. But I do enjoy whipped cream. Alright, so next, I need to get out my shading color. Where is it? It's none of these. Oh, I guess I use that. Y'all making me hungry. Thinking about all these damn desserts. Not Save says, whipped cream is a nice topping for a chilled dessert, I think. I've enjoyed key lime pie and icebox lemon pie with a whipped topping. Yeah. Key lime pie is really good, too. Lemon pie is pretty good, too, but key lime is like... I'm kind of there with you on key lime. I enjoy key lime pie. I need to find an excuse for myself to eat banana pudding, though, in the next couple of weeks. Some of this paint needs to dry a little bit. It's like a little too... Still a little wet. See, like right there... Oh, y'all probably didn't see it on camera, but... As soon as it hit that paint, it just went... Just like exploded. But it's not too big of a deal. It's actually fine. I just... would prefer the paint to be dry so I have greater control over it. But, sometimes you don't need to. Sometimes half the fun of watercolor is, like, not having control over it and letting it do the work for you. is too dark. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of this paint that hasn't quite dried yet. But I don't know. Yeah, I do enjoy a good cake. I'm kind of like, if I had to say what I'm really a sucker for, I'm a sucker for ice cream. That's like my actual weakness is ice cream. Cake, I can look at cake and I can go, nah, I don't know. I think I'll be all right. But if it's ice cream, I'm just like, I can't ignore that. I have to eat that. Like, honestly, like, if I ever get married, I might just skip out on a wedding cake and just be like, there's going to be a soft serve machine. Help yourself. We ain't doing cake this time. We're just doing froyo. This might be done. I'm just going to stare at it for a second. I think this one is done. So the next question is, soft serve or hand scooped ice cream? Some people have different feelings about that. I don't know if you can really go wrong. Alright, so that's what that one looks like finished. I'm gonna switch over to the next painting. But I will say hand scooped is pretty good. Mostly because I just like the consistency, like the thickness, that kind of stuff. Oh. Whatever Not Save said, I can't even see it. It's a complete secret in regards to either as a response or who even knows. Not Save could be speaking in code for all I know. Sorry, I'm like, where's my brush? Oh. Ooh, I just realized something I need to do. There's a lot of stuff happening all at once. Having to juggle a lot. Okay. I think that was it. Yeah. This is still, I'm like frustrating myself here. Not Save says, I love both, but if forced to make a choice, I'll pick soft serve more often. Interesting. That's the thing, is it's like, it's a weird choice to put out there, right? Because it's like, well, it's ice cream. Like, who's gonna skip out on it? There's a Not Save says speaks in Toad. um, there's a restaurant. I guess technically you could call it a deli in Baton Rouge, and I think it's in the South. I don't know. I'm still seeing some. Oh well, I'm still seeing some pencil marks that kind of bother me, but I guess once I paint over it, you won't really. Nobody will care. What was I saying? There's a deli here in Baton Rouge. It's a chain. So I don't know if it's all across the United States or if it's like a southern thing. Varb says, "Is this Hollow Knight?" Not that I'm aware of, but if it looks like something from Hollow Knight, then okay. I mean, it's impossible for me to not hit certain cultural reference marks without even trying at some point. So anyway, this deli, they serve. Okay, so like it's a standard deli, right? You get sandwiches, you get salads, you get soup, whatever. They have a soft serve machine in the deli, and it's like free soft serve for whoever. There's free soft serve for whoever like orders anything at the deli, right? But this, it's a deli. People aren't like paying attention. The working staff aren't paying attention. They're busy making sandwiches and stuff. So like they have their salad bar. You get people come in, and they just like, I've seen people. Okay, like my board game group is at this deli, right? And every Friday I go there, there's this guy who shows up in like, he doesn't order anything at the restaurant. He just walks into the deli. He goes directly to the soft serve machine. He gets himself a cone of ice cream and he walks out. He does it every Friday. And I'm pretty sure he doesn't work there. I'm pretty sure he's just some guy who's just like, he knows about this sweet gig and just like shows up, gets free ice cream and leaves. And I just find it, I mean, it's hard not to laugh every time I see it because I'm just like, well, he knows what's up. Not Save says, I saw that as well, Varb. The proportions are coincidentally similar. Not Save says, that guy, pejorative. That guy. I mean, God bless him. He's figured out how to, attain some slack in his life. A little something for nothing, but it's just funny. Like, it's really funny to me. Oh, like the main character in Hollow Knight? I'm assuming? Like, does the main character have these horns? I think I know what you're all talking about. Sure, let's say it is a reference to Hollow Knight. I don't know. I soak up so much cultural, like, stuff at once. I know that I'm inevitably going to, like, put out something that's very familiar. But I see people come in and they go to the salad bar and they just, like, take stuff from the salad bar. They don't pay for anything. They're just getting their snack on. Varb says, my friend once somehow managed to fill a chicken leg bucket with cola at KFC. That's pretty incredible. I like it. Oh my god. Oh, that's good. Not Save says dark, unseen eyes and long horns with a white skull. Varb says, true story, lol. I believe it. I just, it's really funny. It's a good use of a KFC bucket. Did he like eat all the chicken in the bucket and then was just like, all right, I'm gonna load up on soda? That's a good deal. I'm gonna amend one of the words you use, not save, but not save says KFC must stand for kiloliter of frickin' Coke. Get you one of those big boba straws. Just go to town. And you are caffeinated for the night. Oh, I mean, and I have to say for myself, like, going back to Jason's Deli, I've definitely done things like be like, not safe says, oh, oops, kiloliter of free Coke. Wink. That's funny. Varb says, not free. He did technically buy the infinite cup fill up. Well, you know, if it's infinite, it doesn't really matter what the size of what you refill it with is. They did say infinite. Did they not? What else do they mean when they say a free refill? I don't even know. Or, you know, like, when you go to an all-you-can-eat buffet, like, well, you said all you can eat. Why are you not letting me walk out of the store with these trash bags? What the hell? Verb says he just switched the cup. So there you go, folks. Pro tips. If you're looking to get your caffeine on, I just want this like to be closer to an orange. And I got a hair in this paint, which is annoying. Why can't I get the color I want? Not say says, oh gosh, now I want a clean KFC bucket of boba tea. You know, there's a market that I think that KFC could really get in on. They're just not, they haven't considered this yet. The Colonel's boba tea, and it's like an Arnold Palmer or something. Filled with pearls of chicken nugget boba. No, not something that disgusting, but I don't know, cheese curds or something. I'm just like, oh, hold on. Oh, this is a messy one. Not safe says gagging noises in reference to the Colonel's boba tea. It's weird because I've heard people say they don't like the what are they called? The tapioca pearls, and I'm like, what? What do you not like? Like they're delicious. I mean, it's kind of weird initially, but it's pretty yummy. Like, but I guess some people just aren't into tapioca. I'm not into the like I'll drink it, like I'll do it, but like I'm not into like the jelly stuff. The jelly stuff is weird to me. I like the tapioca. The tapioca seems appropriate. For some reason, the jelly just like I don't think I like gelatin as a thing that much. Like I like okay, like if I were somewhere and like somebody was like, "Would you like some Jello?" I would eat it. Like I would eat it, right? Assuming it's a flavor I liked, but like I'm not going out of my way to eat Jello gelatin. Now pudding, that's a different matter. But like Jello gelatin, I'm just like it's not. It's a textural thing that I'm not into. It's like it wobbles, which I don't like. Like it just makes me think of like 80s horror movies, and I don't know. It's just like gelatin's just not for me. At least not right now. Maybe when I'm 80, I'll reconsider my feelings about gelatin. But at the moment, gelatin is just like not my greatest favorite thing. But like tapioca is pretty good. And it goes back to like the consistency thing. Like I like tapioca is like this perfect medium between pudding and gelatin. At least in my mind it is. Like I'll eat a flan or flan, however you want to pronounce it. I'll take on a flan. I mean, it's the South, so I've seen especially like older folks, because like my grandmother, um, God rest her soul, like she would do a lot of stuff with gelatin, and she would make like those gelatins, like like that kind of Jello mold thing where it's like filled with fruit and stuff. Like I would eat it, but I was never like gonna go out of my way to eat it. Like if she had made something else, like I don't know, like an angel food cake or whatever, I'm gonna go for that first. She did make this one thing that was really good though. That was like Jello gelatin mixed with whipped cream, and then there was like various fruits involved, like cherries and stuff. It was pretty good. She just called it pink junk. Like that was the name of that was the name of the recipe. It was just pink junk. Like that's dessert. Which I felt like I can't think of a more country name for like a dessert than that. All right, I need to figure out like what the color of this cloth is going to be. Maybe maybe I'll go yellow, or maybe I'll use this melange of colors. And maybe mix in some more blue to make it a little greener. And it's funny too, because like me and my cousins would just be like, hey, Mama Duty, because that was her name. Mama Duty, when are you going to make pink junk again? She's like, oh, okay. The story as to how my grandmother got named Mama Duty apparently was that my grandfather's name, this is on my mom's side of the family, my grandfather's name is Dewey. And I don't know, as a child, I was a child, right? So, like, I just went by the names that, like, other people in the family called my grandparents. And so my grandfather was known as Papa Dewey by other members of the family, by older members of the family. And so I was just trying to, like, say Papa Dewey, but I said Papa Duty. And somehow that took off. And so both of my grandparents just became Papa Duty and Mama Duty. I don't know how that works. But it's funny too because like I called him that forever and I had no idea I was the one responsible for it. It's like a noir film or something. It's like one of those things you find out at the end of like some metaphysical noir film. It turns out you're the one who's responsible. Um, Much to my own surprise. All right. So what color hair do I want to do? Could do yellow. I could do. I don't know. I might go with the same brown as these boots just to help tie these colors together. All right. Yeah, we'll do that. I'm committed to it now. It's a very interesting like tradition across all of humanity is like we need to make sure grandparents have like very odd family names. Highly idiosyncratic family names. So I have to say on my grandparents' side, okay, on my dad's side. So like on my dad's side, uh, my grandfather, my cousins called him Peepaw, and for some reason that didn't like set in for me and my sister. We just called him Grandpa. And my cousins called my dad's mom Meemaw. And for some reason, me and my sister were just like Grandma. It was kind of weird. Like it was kind of confusing. Like it was just like for some reason we didn't get the memo growing up. But we also like lived in a different town. So I think that had a part to do with it too. Ooh, a little paint kind of an issue. Maybe it's not as big of an issue as I think. All right. It's not like we lived that far either. I mean, it was like 30 minutes away, but you know, we just didn't see them as often. So my cousins kind of had the command over how the naming conventions would go. Jess says, my mother-in-law is named Nancy, and niece calls her Grancy. I have an aunt whose name is Nancy, and her grandkids are calling her Nan. Which is kind of funny because it's just like super shortened version of her name. I like Grancy though. That's really funny. It's a good what do they call that? Where you just like punch two names together. That'll do. Grancy. It's very efficient. Varb says short names are the best. Could you imagine if like you become a grandparent and then your kids are like, or your grandkids are like, we're not going to go with something simple. Every time we address you or refer to you, you will be known as most high esteemed greatest grandparent, and then your name. Just says we all just call her Grancy now. That's funny. All right, I need to do the shading. I keep losing. I kind of want to do one more thing too, though. The way the colors on this hair are kind of off. Like, what if grandkids started calling, like, their grandparents by full regalia? Varb says, oh, when I'm a grandparent, the kiddos are going to address me Dr. Engineer Grandpa, if I manage to get a title. Oh, I like that. Yeah, so by full title. Trying to put that together in my head. Doctor Professor Dr. Professor Grandpa Esquire. Most High Honorable Dr. Professor Grandpa Esquire. Oh no. That's way too dark. Dang it. That's not what I wanted at all. Sometimes the watercolor bucks back. Jess says, Grandpa, can I have a cookie? Varb. That's Dr. Engineer Grandpa to you, kid. Varb says, or I could get knighted and be Sir Grandpa. fixes it. Alright, and then I think I want to put some shade here. The hair. Oh gosh, this is turning into a mess. Dang it. Varb says, or get a crew and be Captain Grandpa. The possibilities are endless. Jess says, why not Sir Dr. Engineer Grandpa? Might as well. Admiral Sir Dr. Engineer. Wait. Admiral Sir Dr. Engineer Grandpa, says Jess. I always wish to be recognized for my accolades in life, so please refer to me as Sir Dr. Engineer Admiral, First Admiral, Lieutenant Commander Grandpa. Verb says, reminds me of that time when I got a really hard achievement in a game and its name sounded good enough as a title, so I made my friends call me that for some time. Verb says, Admiral Sir Dr. Engineer Grandpa is just Garp from One Piece. Ah! Riddle solved. Now we know. I don't think I'm going to do anything else with this one. There might be a little bit of time to draw something. Jess says, GARPA. There, we've shortened it. That just makes me think of DARPA. What does DARPA stand for? It's like the Defense Something Research Program. Something Advanced Research Program. GARPA would be like the Grandma Advanced Research Program of America. Good night, Verb. Verb says, okay, I'm going to sleep. Bye. Alright, I'm gonna Verb. Oh, it's pronounced verb, says Verb. I'm gonna make sure I commit that to my mind. Bye, Verb. Okay. I think I'm going to try and draw something before I call it. If y'all have any suggestions, I'm open to them. Otherwise, I might just freehand this thing. I'll give y'all a couple of moments. If you have any suggestions, now is the time, or forever hold your peace. I'm looking more for like just kind of ideas for creature designs. Like if you were going to I'm gonna read this real quick and I'll respond to what you're saying, not saved. Verb says, "Don't worry, I don't expect correct pronunciation when my name is a headbutt on a keyboard. I'm just saying." Not save says, "What are you thinking of doing?" So not save. Like, if you have any ideas for like, let's say that you were designing creatures for a D&D campaign. Let's say that. And it's like kind of off the wall creature design. So, for example, in the past, I've done something like a mashed potato monster or an electric, or actually, I have done a design that was just literally like a crystal bowl enthusiast. Um, I've done a bunch of other different designs. I'm just kind of in the mood of like drawing something that's a little bit off the wall right now, and I'm having a bit of a harder time coming up with something. Verb says you didn't do a Cheeto chicken yet. I guess that's not what you're looking for. Not quite. Although that is certainly a possibility in the future. I still need to do. I'm keeping verb up. I still need to do a a Chester Cheetah version of Guts from Berserk. That is still like something I want to do, and I've been dragging my feet on it just because I know it's going to be a lot, because like Guts's like character design is so intricate, right? I am going to do it though, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I just haven't gotten myself worked up to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm ready. Let's do this. But maybe we'll do something with a chicken. Because why not? Hmm. Verb says, if you're looking for something off the wall, why not a wall creature? Not Saved says, it's a dumb idea, but what about a crossover of an iconic prey animal and its predator? Ooh, that is a pretty good idea. Hold on. Where did I put my pad? Oh, there it is. I'll save that for later. Verb says chicken fox. That could work. Jess says lion gazelle. Jess says I like chicken fox better. Yeah, I'm kind of running with the chicken fox concept in the moment. Um, Good night, Verb. Rest well. No, not Save says, I'm a chicken hawk. I eat chickens. I don't know if I'm going to go with that. All right. Where did I put? Just says, whatever you do with it, I feel like it needs chicken feet because chicken feet are funnier looking than fox feet. That's a good suggestion. I might very well. You know, they talk about the fox in the hen house, but they never talk about the hen in the fox den. Not Save says chicken feet are no joke. Those claws will clock you up. Oh, you know what? I have another idea I want to run with, actually. I don't know. There's like 4 or 5 different ideas that I'm like, oh, you know, that would be good. That would be good. That would be good. Jess, not a fan of chickens, says chickens are mean and icky. I have heard that they can be mean. I kind of like chickens, though. I at least like the idea of chickens, anyway. I enjoy watching them. I find them to be pretty entertaining. Not Safe says, chicken bigot. Hot Save says the chickens would be real upset if they could clear the 100 brain cells threshold needed to understand an insult. uh, it's a blessing. Chickens have that blessing. If only we could all be so lucky. Jess says, I got to go. Good luck with the chicken fox. See you later, Jess. Thanks for hanging out. I kind of like this idea of the hen and the fox den. And Jess says, and sorry to any chickens I may have, unfortunately I can't read that word because it's blocked by the little emoji, but, I have hurt with my comments. Truly. All right. I don't know if this is a good idea, but this was the idea that came to mind because I just really like the idea of a hen in a fox den. Just us chickens. Not Save says, would the hen in the fox den be some kind of gang leader? Like, she just runs the den either because the foxes think she's dangerous, strong, and she is, or they assume so and she's always scared, but fakes it like a champ. I kind of like the idea of, like, this chicken has figured out, how to be the head, like the den mother, basically. And through crafty fox politics has figured out her way to the top. While wearing a totally inconspicuous fox mask the whole time. Nobody suspected. None of the foxes had suspected that they had been infiltrated. Although I imagine foxes, like, their entire social structure is just very mafioso like. Well, the other idea is also pretty funny. Chicken's like, how did I get into this situation? Then has to play the game of eat or be eaten. Right. Hmm. Well, gosh dog it. Kind of messed that up a little bit. Alright. That's the hen that fakes it like a champ. I'm gonna head out in a second here. But I hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll do this again very soon. I think I'm gonna probably next stream I do is probably gonna be like a Legend of Redneck work stream. Let me make sure I got everything. Alright. Hope y'all have a wonderful day and we will talk again soon. Bye.